Hey guys, I've been surfing around and I've been looking at a lot of different YouTube collaborations and such. One thing that shocks me is the fact that I used to get along with a lot of the people that are in the collaborations, and I used to be part of their YouTubes, and over the years a big falling out and stuff has happened and we've parted ways. But a lot of the things that I used to say, that I still say to this day, are the things that we argued about, and it's the reason why that we are not friends anymore. But I see over the last year, maybe more, that some people have changed and they're saying the exact same thing that we argued about, and that is kind of refreshing to me, to know that even though we don't talk and we're not friends, that they kind of come to light and seen that, you know, it wasn't just some new guy that was starting this. A lot of these doctors and stuff that are on the scene now talking about this stuff are only new within the last few years. I mean, I've been doing this for 10 years. And a lot of the people that have been doing it the amount of time that I've been doing it, they're pretty much on the same boat. And they say the same exact thing as me. And I'm not saying I'm more right or more wrong than anybody. I'm just saying in the long run, it seems that it all works out the same way and people end up thinking about the same thing. The thing that can be confusing as a new person is, you know, you might watch Dr. Eric Westman, and he just says, eat keto-approved food. You don't need to track. You don't need to test for ketones. The keto stick can be an indication of ketosis, and it's very open-ended. And then you might follow somebody like Thomas DeLauer that says something completely different. Or you might watch one of Dr. Eric Berg's videos where he says, you know, eat 3 to 6 ounces of meat per meal and then have about 20 to 40 grams of fat per meal, and you're like, that's it? I mean, that's open-ended. That still doesn't explain anything to me. And then you might look at Dr. Feeney and Dr. Bullock, where they're saying have 140 grams of fat, you know, a day, and have only 90 grams of, I mean, the other way around, 140 grams of protein and 80 to 90 grams of fat. There's so many different ways to do keto, and then you get YouTubers that come out, and then they have their own way of doing it, and they change things up. Guys, the most important thing to do is to experiment. There's a lot of things that will not change across the board. Are you getting enough salt? Are you getting enough potassium? Are you getting enough magnesium? Are you drinking too much or too little water? Are you becoming hyperkalemic, where you're having too much potassium in your blood? Are you becoming hypernatremic, where you have too much sodium in your blood? Or hyponatremic, where, you know, you have not enough sodium in your blood, or you're drinking too much water and that's diluting the sodium in your blood. Or maybe you're hypokalemic, where you're just not intaking enough meat that has sodium, or you're not intaking enough vegetables potassium. You're not intaking enough things that have potassium in it. There are a number of factors, and each style of keto is going to affect those numbers. Cut it out. Relax, girls, please. This is the only one that's like chill right now. Anyhow, each style of keto is going to affect you differently. How metabolically destroyed were you before you came into keto? That's going to affect your weight loss. How much water are you drinking? That's going to affect your weight loss. How much sodium are you having? That is going to affect your weight loss. How much fat are you having? That is going to affect your weight loss. You know, you have to know, you're never going to know what form of keto works the best for you until you start trying out different things. You are the only one that can be your critic. You are the only one that can actually figure out things on your own. A Facebook group is not going to do that. My YouTube page is not going to do that. All we can do is offer guidance. All we can do is try to point you in the right direction, how to get you some good information. And as I've been saying since I've known about this book, I'm hearing more and more about it, and I've been trying to tell more people about it, but I don't hear people recommending it, and I don't see people picking up the book. But a great book by Dr. D it's called The Salt Fix. The Salt Fix. Grab the book and read it. It's more than 50 years of like debunked salt research and stuff like that, and even people with heart conditions that can't have sodium and stuff. He goes in depth why sodium is so important for the body, why it's such an essential thing that the body has to have. And on average, people have 3,000 to 6,000 milligrams of sodium per day. Studies show, and people typically have this general like built-in thing that if you were to not track and you were to just watch what people ate for one day and just let them loose and just eat food, you would see it's usually between 3,000 to 6,000 milligrams of sodium per day. But we have medical providers and stuff out here that are telling people to stay away from sodium, stay away from potassium. You don't need these things. You don't need this. You don't need that. There are so many different ways to do things, guys. There are so many different ways to do things. And it's just a matter of figuring out what works for you, doing it, not being set on just one person's advice. Go to these different groups and support them. Go to the different YouTube pages and support them. But my keto is not going to work for you. Dr. Ken Berry, he says, eat fat, eat salt, eat keto food. A new person should kind of assimilate and track food in the beginning, but it's not necessary once you get the hang of it. These things are all the different ways that people talk about stuff. They recommend things. There's nothing from any doctor, there's nothing from any YouTube channel, there's nothing that is going to be exact, there's nothing that's going to be consistent. It's just a pattern of eating. It's a pattern of keeping your fats, your proteins, and your carbohydrates in check. And if you do have carbs, getting them from complex sources, not simple sources, not eating out of a box, staying away from as much sugar as you possibly can, and just being completely open to eating a healthy lifestyle, a whole food-based lifestyle, and not overindulging in things. You guys know I'm not a proponent of bulletproof coffee all the time. Sometimes, yes, it can be very useful. You guys know I'm not a huge proponent of the fat bombs and stuff, but it can be useful. It can save you in hard times when you have to fix a situation that you know you're about to screw up in. I know and I realize those things are important. But people that incorporate that stuff into their diet daily and heavily, I seem to have the most problem helping fix. And when I do help fix it, they get phenomenal results. But again, nothing is one size fits all. You cannot take the stuff that I say on this channel and hold it 100% and say, well, it's not working for me. You told me that I should do it, and now I'm doing it and it's not working. What I say does not work for everybody. And what the next YouTube channel does not work for everybody. I can only walk you through my experience and what I do. And, something that I really haven't talked too much to you guys about is my doctor's starting to think that I might have a little bit of a thyroid issue. So I'm going to have to start engaging more foods to really treat my thyroid appropriately, because, I lost all this weight so far, and then I've been kind of the same ballpark for about 8 weeks. And I'm going to stay with it. I like my weight now. I kind of like the way I look now and stuff like that. I want to be better. Just like my fellow keto YouTube friend want to be better. And awesome video content, by the way. I want to be better, but I'm okay. And that's what matters. I'm starting to ache a little bit more lately. I'm starting to see some things that never happened before that's starting to happen now. I don't know if it's just that I'm getting older or I'm jumping into a job where I'm very, very active, but I'll figure that out. I'm not worried. I'm not scared about it. I know that these things can happen as we get older, and we just have to address them appropriately. And there's no diet that will stop that from happening, but it can prolong or lessen the effect of that happening. And that's why I choose the lifestyle keto, and that's my lifestyle. I just love it. I crave it, and it's just me. So, the last couple months I've been really heavily looking at other channels, other collaborations. I see people change with their content. I see people give recommendations as time goes. I see doctors kind of change from one way to another as they realize that certain things aren't working. So there's no one person that's more right than the next, and there is no one YouTuber that is better than another. It's just a journey that we experience, and we try to share it with other people. And if you follow, great. If it works for you, if not, I'll still be your best friend. I'll still cheer you on the best that I can, and I'll be here no matter what. So even people that I no longer talk to, if they reach out to me and they said, hey, could you help me with something, or could you help me with a collaboration, or could you answer some questions? By all means, sure I would. But unfortunately, at those times when people have their falling out, they think they're probably more right than the other, or the other person's more wrong, or maybe they just don't like something about them, and that's normal. That's going to happen. You cannot fret about that. You cannot let that get you down. Everybody's not going to want to stay in your life. So I'm glad that I have the ones that I have now. And just realize, guys, don't just get your information from one source, or even two sources or three sources. Go out there, explore every different option that you possibly can. Figure out what you think works best for you, and then apply that to your life. But if you apply it 100%. You don't step into it slowly, because you're going to fall back more. Apply it. Actually put some effort into changing your life and your health. And when you do that, it makes everything better around you. When you make yourself better, other people are going to want to be better as well. So that's what this is all about. I just want to be better. I don't want to be perfect. I don't want to be Ken Barbie doll where I can rip my shirt off and everybody can see my 8-pack. I could give a shit less about that stuff. I just want to be better. And that's what this is about. Thanks, guys. I appreciate your support. If you're new, sorry about the rambling and stuff. The ones that are here know that I do ramble sometimes. I feel like I have to get my information out there. I got to get it out of my head. It's been sitting there and I just want to share it. I really appreciate you guys supporting me. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, I got a lovely little puppy family here. They're all part of it. I'm living with my aunt that has medical conditions that I got her on keto about 2.5 months ago. She has now lost over 30 pounds. She's been taking off her cholesterol medication, her blood pressure medication since going keto, and she's been on that since she was 25 years old. So 30 years of blood pressure medication and cholesterol medication, and she's finally off of all that once going keto. She has lupus, she has colon cancer, she has some female issues, and this is the most important thing for her to be eating, or, like, she needs to be on keto right now, because the doctor is really saying, you know what, don't stop what you're doing, keep doing it. This is my life, my puppies, my aunt, the things that I have to say. I encourage you guys, if you don't have a YouTube channel, get out there, make that YouTube channel, get what's in your head out, let other people hear it. You're going to find that you meet a lot of friends, and you're going to be able to network with a lot of people that are going to really care about you, and they're going to be there for you, and they're going to help you. Even though you don't know them physically, they will be like your best friend. Alright, guys, I really appreciate everything. Thanks again. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. You hit the little bell. It's got the little kind of like parenthesis things around it. When you hit it, it notifies you of YouTubers if you're really interested in them. When they make their content, it'll pop up on your screen. Sometimes it can get annoying because some of us do make a lot of videos. Don't hit the bell, but subscribe, and that will stop you from getting notifications, and maybe eventually it'll pop up in your feed. But anyway, either way, guys, I really appreciate you, and have a blessed day. And keto on.